From Hasbro and Transformers Earthspark, this is the Deluxe class Starscream. There's just one problem here. You see that design? You see that figure? That looks a bit off, doesn't it? Looks even more off when you look on the back and realize that's the Cyberverse Deluxe. Yeah, I don't know why, but I guess Earthspark, in order to save money, some of their Deluxes have literally just been Cyberverse figures with new paint jobs. Shockwave's that way. Grimlock at least got a new head. Starscream didn't even get a new head, he just has a new paint job. Reason I picked this up. 1. I sold off my Cyberverse Deluxe Starscream, and I regret it because I actually really liked the figure, so I figured, hey, nice easy way to get him back. Alongside that, Earthspark Starscream is one of my favorite takes on the character ever. I actually really like Earthspark and what they do with Starscream. I'm not saying everything about the show is perfect. I think sometimes it can get just a little bit weird even for me. But I really love how they've been characterizing all the characters, and I like this Starscream's idea. So for that reason, I do want representation. I just wish it actually looked like that, you know? But hey, that's enough complaining. Let's actually open the figure up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure out if this is a downgrade or an upgrade from the original Cyberverse Starscream Deluxe. There's a few things I can point out, but here's the big one, right? An issue I had with the Cyberverse Starscream is just how dull it looked. There weren't a lot of colors on the guy. Here, they actually did try to bring in the Earthspark color scheme. So we have a lot of blue in the arms and legs, red throughout the torso, a little bit of gray in the wings, sure, a lot on the back, but they made him more colorful to try to match up with the, at least, color scheme of Earthspark Starscream. One of my big issues, though, is that they didn't go far enough, I think. You look at that head, and it's a great Starscream head sculpt. Even if you don't know, like, the shows or anything, I think that you can see so much of Starscream's personality in that head sculpt. The fact that it's kind of slim, he has his eyes a bit squinting as if he's scheming. You have this very kind of pretty boy attitude to it. It's perfect. Wonderful Starscream head sculpt. But it's undeniably Cyberverse Starscream. It's not Earthspark Starscream. You know, not to keep beating a point, but let me just pull the box back in. You see Earthspark Starscream, and honestly, I say that's a worst head design. Keep in mind when I said that I think that Earthspark gets a little bit weird even for my taste. I'm talking about the design work. The designs of these guys, let me zoom up a bit, really do kind of get a little bit funky. Megatron, Starscream, a lot of them, and I know Nick Roche designed them, and I think he's a wonderful designer, but it's one of those things where, like, I wonder if this would work better on a comic book as opposed to a 3D animated show. So, if they made an accurate Earthspark Starscream, it would be a funky figure, especially when it comes to proportions. But I just wish that at least the head was here. It'd be a worse head sculpt, but at least then it would be the right Starscream being conveyed, right? Here's the Ron Bond to John standard for if your figure is well articulated. It's, can I make the figure look like it's walking and it look right? And yeah, you can see Starscream can strike a walking pose. This figure actually has a lot of great articulation. So we have a ball joint at the head, we have a universal at the shoulder, works incredibly well, not as much collision as you might think. Upper arm cut, we have a good single jointed elbow, wrist swivels, boop, boop. A waist joint, a universal at the hip, and you can see it goes out wide. Upper leg cut, good deep knee, and then down here at the foot we have back and forth, and you can kind of use this transformation bit as a toe joint somewhat, but with all that, you get a really well articulated Starscream. Alongside that, a big thing for me is just the fact that he feels nice and tight. My original Deluxe Starscream, nightmare, loose all over the place, but here the joints are almost too tight. I prefer that. I prefer them to give me just a little bit of bite, because that means, hey, the joints are going to last a whole lot longer. So, once again, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's an upgrade or a downgrade so much as we now have an issue in an opposite direction. Now we can get to accessories. We, of course, get the null rays. A thing I love about Cyberverse and Earthspark is that the null rays are on his forearms as opposed to shoulders. I know that shoulders is traditionally where we put the guns, but I think this looks so much better. Alongside that, originally this figure, back when it was still in Cyberverse, came with missiles that you could attach to these little nubbins on the chest. It was actually a pretty cool effect. This Starscream doesn't have it. Instead, we have a Build-A-Vigor piece for Dr. Mandroid. Dr. Mandroid's a fine character. I don't need a toy of him. I would have probably preferred the missile still being here, but again, I realized what this was when I got it. I wanted a more colorful Cyberverse Starscream that I wouldn't have to wait to get shipped to me, so for that, this is still fine. The jet mode is a complete mess. It's supposed to kind of be a Tetrajet. I can kind of see it, but I don't know, man. All the praise I had for the robot mode, it being kind of stylized and feeling good, it's not feeling too good here in the jet, I can tell you that much. But, you know, it's gotta transform. Look, I've already admitted that I got rid of this figure, but I wanted it back because the robot mode and the articulation and the design are all really solid. This is a great evergreen or Cyberverse design. It's a great redo of the G1 look. I like this Starscream. The reason why I got the Earthspark version is because, one, again, it has more colors on it, and two, I really want to support Earthspark because it's a good show and it has a good version of Starscream. The only issue is, that's not Starscream from Earthspark. What I basically got is, back when Takara made their figures discernibly different from the US release, I basically just got the Takara version of the Cyberverse Starscream. That's how I'm kind of parsing it in my brain. It has more paint, the joints feel better, but it's still the same figure at the end of the day. Even still, it's not a bad Starscream. Far from it. It's a very good Starscream in robot mode, and it has a good, fun transformation, even if the vehicle mode isn't much to write home about. Earthspark Starscream gets to join the pantheon of my favorite Starscream characters. I just wish I could say the same about this figure. Still very good, but let's be honest, it doesn't touch the 3 figures I put it around.